Okay. So I've been working on this design, and I'm going to explain there's some major differences between this and the design that what I did this is YouTube channel, and based on Tesla's original design. I'll explain why I've designed it with two primary coils, which are in red. Uh, with a normal Tesla circuit, with a normal Tesla design that whatever did this is building, he uses a ground wire to transmit power over a large. I'll just get a bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. So normally when you have an actuator, a primary coil, you're emitting a positive field or a negative field, whichever. You normally need to complete a circuit to ground with one coil, because when you have a radiant energy sending power of a positive cycle, so a positive waveform being sent out, you need to be able to ground that waveform to complete a circuit. So I've been doing a lot of thinking about this. Now, in a normal transformer configuration, now this is a bit of a cross between a transformer, a power transformer, and an antenna. With a normal power transformer situation, you have both fields within a complete circuit within the transformer. As you know, conventional transformers got a middle core, and then it circulates around the outside, right? So you have a complete circuit. However, with this particular design, if you're just using one coil, you need to complete that circuit, and the only way to do that is to use an inverse coil on the other end. So let's say that this coil sends a negative field or a negative waveform out towards the collector coils, and this coil over here is sending out a positive waveform out towards the center core. So what you have is a complete circuit, right? Now, what are these things on the back? Well, these are deflectors, because I want to keep the field constrained within this area. I don't want this field shooting off and bothering my neighbours, for example, upsetting the... Obviously, I'm going to use ultra low frequencies if I can. I want to use below 300 kilohertz. So the lower frequencies should minimize the chance of any interference with any higher frequency devices, because one of the problems with low frequencies is you get harmonics. And what is a harmonic? Well, for every frequency, say 10 kilohertz, you might get a harmonic of a third harmonic, which is 1/3 of the 10 kilohertz, so 10 kilohertz plus 0.3 or something like that. Or you might get a second harmonic, which is probably half, and you can get multiples. So you got to keep your frequencies constrained so you don't interfere with any other devices. These deflectors that I made, somebody said it looks like that thing from Star Wars. Well, that was not my intention. These deflectors, they're probably too small for this particular low frequency wavelength. These deflectors are probably way too small, but they're there for basically like placeholders to give you an idea of the intention, really, because this is just the this is just oh, excuse me, it's just a very basic drawing, really. It's you know what I mean, a draft, right? So these deflectors, the idea with these is to 3D print sections and then stick them all together, and then coat them with silver aluminium foil, as deflectors to keep any radiant energy bounce back, so it'll complete a circuit. So that if this is a negative field coming this way on one cycle, on the next cycle it'll be a positive waveform, right? And this will all be negative. So positive, negative, negative, positive. So that's one half of the cycle. Obviously, the reverse on the other half cycle of the waveform. So what will happen is that this will feed back this half of the circuit back on itself to complete the circuit with these other coils. So what we should have here is an amplifier, a resonant amplifier to boost the oscillation. So we should get even more output from the secondary coils. Now, I have some other ideas about extending these receivers by having extensions and having another coil above that, another coil above that, basically to capture as much of that energy as possible, so that there's no leakage or radiant energy that escapes into the ether to, yeah, we don't want that really. So I want to try and do this in the next few weeks. Initially I want to dry these primary coils with my H-bridge circuit, because with the H-bridge I've got more control over the frequency. I also have control over the current, and it's a true AC waveform. It's not RMS because it'll be square wave, but it's pulsed. And but initially I want to do some tests with that, but I can obviously build a free running oscillator using the 2N3055 transistor, but that is not easily controllable, as in its resonant frequency, but it might be useful to do that at some point. So anyway, that's just a heads up on my ideas for what this is. And no, it's not a Foo Fighter or what do you call this? A TIE Fighter, is it? Oh well, right, thanks for watching.